And man, I kissed the living jazz out of that young lady. She didn't know what was happening, man. Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the interwebs. This is ReNDoG coming at you in another episode of Minecraft Survival from the Hermitcraft server. I woke up this morning, guys, with a strange feeling in my belly. An uneasy feeling, should I say. This morning I realized that this week we are actually going to complete a project on the Hermitcraft server. I know, it sounds crazy, I know. And I know that we were supposed to complete this project last week, but guys, we are literally just a couple of days away from completing the Hermitron game project, and I couldn't be more freaking excited, man. Last time, we were working on the exit hole for Hermitron Halls, and as you can see, it's looking fan-freaking-tastic. Oh man, I have put in the grind, and this place is looking awesome. Also, I've laid down the foundations for what is going to be the entrance to the Hermitron Halls. The final little bit of work that we need to do down there so that the Hermits can actually get into the Hermitron project, and we're going to be doing that a little bit later today. But guys, this is it, man. We only have a few more tasks to do, and we can finally launch Hermitron on the Hermitcraft server. Are you guys excited? I'm freaking excited, man. I cannot wait to start laying down some booster boxes across the server. Now, before we get going today, though, my friends, firstly, I hope you guys are all well. I hope you have a tasty-ass beverage to hand. I've got a tasty-ass cup of tea. Give me 1 second. But before we get to any serious business up in this episode, there's a few things that I need to clarify from the previous episode. Last time, we were setting up a tutorial for the Hermitron game, weren't we? And thanks to everybody who commented on the previous episode to let me know that I actually did a good job for once and that it made perfect sense. But there was a comment that I saw in the previous episode that got me thinking, and I want to kind of like fix the point system. I think there is a little bit of a discrepancy over here in our points that we set up last time, and you guys are 100% correct on this. I think a couple of you guys commented on this, and I 100% freaking agree with you guys, man. If you remember, last time we had all of these different points for the different sets of Hermitrons that you can collect, and we were only giving 3 points for a complete set of Hermitrons from the same tribe. But as a lot of you guys pointed out, this is a little bit imbalanced, because to complete a set of Hermitrons, you need the mythic rare Hermitron, and there's only 1 of these printed per tribe. So the points for a full set of Hermitrons needs to be a little bit higher. I've now made it 5 points for a full set of Hermitrons, and I think that kind of balances the game out nicely, and that makes me really, really happy. That means that our point system is ready to go. Our Hermitron halls are ready to go. Our exit hole is ready to go, and now all we need to do is complete the entrance into the game, and then start to place down some freaking booster boxes, baby. I still need to make the majority of the Hermitrons too, though, but don't worry, guys. I will do that off camera. That's going to take a long-ass time. I need to get a bunch of experience so that I can anvil name a bunch of freaking Hermitrons. But check it out. Last time we were working here, this was a janky-ass tunnel, wasn't it? It was looking absolutely awful. I've now made it look beautiful. This is how our Hermits are going to be getting out of the Hermitron halls, and I've put the Hermitron H on the walls here on the exit, so when the Hermits get to this point and they leave this place, I want them to be feeling like, wow, that was awesome, Hermitron rocks my world, I want to play more of this, man, it is so freaking sweet. Where's the rocket? There it is. So that's looking awesome. I love it, man. Look at it. It's a little platform over here, a little rocket launching platform. I hope all of the Hermits have rockets and elytras, because, well, there's no other way to get out of here other than with rocket power out the butt. You know what I'm saying? The ReNDoG has also been pretty busy here in the Lush Mesa Biome. Some of you guys may have already noticed that I have cleaned up all of the snow that False Symmetry laid down here in our base for the Christmas prank. The Lush Mesa has now been restored to its natural state, looking pretty sweet, man. We've still got a lot of work to do on this place, though. I still want to do a bunch of terraforming and a bunch of foliation and whatnot, but yeah, most of the snow has been cleared. There's a couple of little bits of snow here and there that I've missed, but I'm really loving seeing the Lush Mesa back to what it was before, even though I do kind of miss the snow, man. It was so freaking awesome. Now, guys, let's get to business. Let's get to laying down some blocks over here. Oh man, I've been thinking about this all day long, and I've been trying to figure out a plan for what we're going to do here at the entrance to the Hermitron Halls. I've made the trippy drop of doom over here, but what I'd like to do, and I think this is what I said at the very beginning of this particular project, is that I want to have some sort of a ruin over here, right? I want there to be like a ruined castle or something that is going to be the entrance of the Hermitron Halls. I want the hermits to come here when they come to drop off the Hermitrons that they find around the server, and I want them to enter like a really ancient ruin that sits at the end of the Lush Mesa over here, and I've got a really cool plan. I've laid down some foundations with these yellow freaking bricks, and as you can see, we're going to have like a main tower over here that's going to be ruined and crumbled, and in there we're going to have the entrance into the Hermitron Halls, and around here we'll have a couple of other towers and a couple of other rooms and whatnot that have all sort of corroded. Here's the lore behind this particular build, okay? Check this out. This Lush Mesa, of course, was formed by a flood that washed through this canyon, and that's why it deposited all of this very mineral-rich soil, and that's why there's a whole bunch of stuff growing in this section of the the Hermit Mesa. Now, this ruin was built here many aeons ago, and when that flood washed through the place, it kind of destroyed what was a blossoming little, like, civilization or something, and all that remains of that civilization is this ruin over here, this sort of castle ruin where the leader lived, I suppose, and just outside of the castle we have the Lush Mesa village. So that kind of ties it up quite nicely, I think, and does something really interesting with this space. And I want to really make it look like a sort of flood damaged this place, right? So maybe we'll have like stacks of sand and stuff that have piled up against the buildings. Something like that, you know, getting the place looking absolutely awesome. And man, I can't wait for this. I want to try like a different block palette for this particular build. We were using this redstone clay and stuff over here for the Lush Mesa village, but here I want to make more of a traditional type style ruin, I suppose, right? The thinking being that this was here before the village was here, and this is a lot more ancient. And to do that, man, we're going to be using a lot of different blocks, a bunch of escalification, and we're going to try and make something pretty special here for the entrance into the Hermitron Halls. It's going to be a good day of Minecrafting, my friends. Sit back, relax, let's do this thing. Cyberdog, I gotta be 100% honest with you right now, man. I am absolutely loving a little bit of traditional Minecraft block placage right now on the server. Oh, baby! Been having a blast this morning, just creating a bog standard Minecraft castle / ruin build, man. It's been awesome. For the last couple of weeks on the Hermitcraft server, I've been working on this super futuristic build known as the Hermitron project. And yeah, using blocks that I've never used in this game before, freaking purple and white and glowy bits, and man, it's been very weird. I've been pushing myself as a builder in a direction I've never gone before with this project, and I gotta say, man, it feels kind of good to just get back to laying down some good old stone, baby. And I've been working on the foundations here for our ruin, looking pretty good. I think I've got a pretty awesome block palette going on too, and yeah, nothing too fancy, just some polished andesite, some stone bricks, some smooth stone, some cracked stone, and so on. And I'm also incorporating this pattern into the build that we learnt when we built the Tree Masons HQ with Exuma, where for the support columns we use polished andesite and then we sort of alternate them like this, and man, I think that looks really cool. I like that. It's very subtle in this particular build, but I think that looks really great. Now, while I've been working on this, guys, I had a little bit of a memory that I wanted to share with you. Now, I gotta warn you that this memory is a little bit cringy, okay? So get your cringe hats on, because ReNDoG's about to tell you a little bit of a, well, embarrassing story, I suppose. Many years ago, I was seeing a very beautiful girl, and this girl and I hadn't been seeing each other for very long, and we were right at the beginning of our relationship, and the ReNDoG decided to get all romantic, you know? I wanted to take this girl to a place that would blow her mind and would make her think that, you know, I was some sort of a very well-learned and educated man. That, you know, I was a good pick, I suppose, and what I decided to do was take this girl to go and see a ruin in England. And this ruin was of a very ancient castle. I think the castle was from 600 AD or something. I can't remember exactly which castle it was, but it was super, super old, and it was really, really cool. In fact, it looked very much like what I'm building over here, which is kind of weird. There was a very big central turret like this, surrounded by a couple of smaller turrets and like a living area type thing. And maybe that's where the inspiration came from for this, even though I didn't even realize it. I suppose it was a subconscious thing. Anyway, took this girl to this ruin one weekend, and I mean, we were like very, very new into our relationship, right? So, for example, we hadn't even kissed each other yet. You know, it was that new. And I had a plan for that weekend. This was going to be the weekend where this girl was going to give ReNDoG a kiss. You know what I'm saying, baby? We were going to take it to the first base, whatever you kids call it these days. Anyway, this ruin was absolutely stunning. It was a beautiful day in England, man. The sun was shining, the birds were tweeting. I paid for the tickets for us to get in, and we were walking around the ruins hand in hand, giggling and laughing, feeling embarrassed as you do at the start of a relationship. And we entered into the main turret of this ruin that looked very much like this, and there was nobody around. It was just me and this girl, and the weather was perfect, the setting was perfect, the romance was kicking in, and ReNDoG decided to take it to the next level, and I decided to try and make my move. And in the corner of the ruin, much like this corner over here, I pulled that girl close to me, held her close to my body, and man, I kissed the living jazz out of that young lady. She didn't know what was happening, man. ReNDoG swept her off her feet, something fierce. It was awesome. Anyway, it didn't last very long. In fact, I think it only lasted for about 5 seconds of kissage before I heard an old lady clear her throat behind us. You know, I heard a and we sort of let go of each other, almost pushed each other away, I suppose, out of embarrassment. And yes, lo and behold, there in the ruin stood a very old lady with her husband. And I will never ever forget the look on those two people's face. On the look of the old lady was shock and horror. She couldn't believe what she was seeing, that these young people, these scallywags, were defiling this ancient ruin by kissing each other in the middle of it. And on the face of that old man was a look that I can only describe as, "You go, boy!" He was looking at me with a pride that only a man could understand in his eyes, and it was freaking hilarious. I don't think I'll ever forget that day. Anyway, I have got quite a few blocks to place over here, guys, and I'm going to get a few more of these foundations blocks down, and then we can come back together and see where I'm at. Oh man, memories! I've just taken a sneaky glance at my notes for today's episode, guys, and there's something that I want to show you before I freaking forget. Here we are in the Ender Render, and a bunch of you Escallions out there have been telling me of a brand new facility that has been added to the Ender Render. What is going on over here, though? Jeez, this is looking awesome. A map of our end. That is so cool. Anyway, I think a lot of you guys are feeling a little bit sorry for me a few episodes ago when I lost all of my stuff. And look at this. Iskal85, the beautiful Swedish potato, has set up a little bookstore here in the Ender Render. And check this out. You can pretty much buy any of the books that you need to remake a good pickaxe. And you can get feather falling too. And looting for a sword. But most importantly, we can get mending. And mending is probably the hardest book to get on this server, and I want to come and stock up a little bit. 4 diamonds for a mending book. You know what? That feels like a pretty good deal. I got 44 diamonds from the profits in the Brown shopping district over the last couple of weeks, and I can think of no better way than to spend it right here in Iskal's new bookshop. And check it out. This is where we make the payments into this shulker box here, which is beautiful. But the book pops out in the middle of this little thing. How freaking genius is this build? So that's one mending book. I kind of want to get another one. I kind of want to get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to get 6 mending books so that we have enough mending books to replace our tools for the next time that we die. I just absolutely love how the mending book comes out in the middle of the table, and it also makes a little sound. Did you hear that? It was like a ding. It was like a little song. Iskal, dude, you are an absolute freaking genius, man. An absolute genius of a human being. Absolutely beautiful. 6 books times 4 diamonds a piece is going to be 24 diamonds for the Iskall. Thank you, my Swedish brother, for this amazing facility. This is going to save me many, many hours of rebuilding my stuff when I inevitably die again. Minecraft is flowing through my veins. Something fierce today, Cyberdogs. I'm absolutely loving this build. Oops. Derp. Dang it. Jeez, couldn't even get through the freaking loop over there. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, I've been doing a bunch of block variation in here, and I'm currently working on the floors. I wanted to bring you guys back for the next part of this build, because this is the really fun bit. This is the part that I love the most. You know, working on this build has been bringing back some really cool memories for me. It's taken me all the way back to the Kingdomcraft days. I used to play on a server called Kingdomcraft with Iskall, Stress Monster 101, Python GB, Cub Fan, Good Times with Scar, and a bunch of other people. Oh man, it was good times. And we were making really cool medieval builds on that server, and man, I absolutely loved it. I missed making these kind of builds, and I'm really enjoying this. Anyway, I've been digging away the blocks over here to start working on the floor, but this, of course, is supposed to be some sort of a ruined castle type build, right? That's what we're trying to emulate over here. And on the Kingdomcraft server, I did something quite similar, where I made some ruins, and I discovered a pretty good technique to make ruins that I want to share with you guys today. But let's just sleep the night away before something very bad happens. Why is it that every single time I start a massive build in Minecraft, I put all of the storage chests directly in the middle of where I'm going to build? Please let me know in the comments if I'm not the only idiot who does this. There must be more of you out there who set up your freaking resource chests right in the middle of where you are supposed to be creating a build. Jeez, I do it every single time. It's so annoying. It's going to take me forever to clean up these chests, and they are literally sitting right in the middle of where I'm trying to build. Anyway, not much I can do about that now. I'm just going to have to clear that off camera at some point. But guys, I want to show you guys a very interesting technique today for making ruins. I learned this particular technique on the Kingdomcraft server that I mentioned a little while ago, and I was making a very similar build on that server, and I was making a ruined building and a ruined farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. And let's see if we can actually get up to the top of this, though. I'm gonna have to go over here, I think. Yes, nailed it. Oh, derp. Okay, let's try that again. Come on, Ender Pearl, do your business. All right, 3rd time's a charm. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, 4th time's a charm. Let's get the angle. No, dang it, I'm gonna die. We're gonna do this the good old-fashioned way, the noobovator. There we go. We're at the top of the freaking ruin. Oh, right. Let's make some ruins together, shall we? Let's get this freaking episode back on track. Now, one of the keys to making a ruin look like a ruin is to, in my opinion, basically make the ruin in the way that it would be made naturally. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever, but let me try and explain myself. I'm going to add a couple more layers to the top of this turret, and what we're going to do is we're going to start breaking the layers down from the top all the way down to the bottom. Here's the thinking, okay? If we apply like the theoretical side to the build, this build would have once stood as a giant castle, but over the years, over the centuries, should we say, it has slowly but surely become degraded, and the walls have sort of collapsed inwards and fallen outwards. So let's go to this side. You can see I've already started working on a little bit of like a chute. I want to make this one a little bit higher, so it's kind of like a shard of a wall, right? The andesite represents these sort of vertical columns eroding away, right? The vertical columns are made out of this polished andesite, but the normal andesite shows that it's sort of eroding, and we want to try and emulate those sort of techniques all the way through the ruins. So check it out. We're going to dig down a little bit like this, just dig away at the wall a bit, and we're going to do exactly the same thing all the way along the top of our little turret here. So let's get back up here. Ender pearls make this a little bit easier, and you know what, man? You can actually just go kind of a little bit ham when you're doing this, and I think that it's much easier to make a ruin like this by like building the structure in its totality like this, and then breaking it down from the top downwards. I know it is a little bit of an annoying thing to like make a build and then break it again, right? But I think that this is a very good way to achieve the most realistic build, or the most realistic looking ruin build, should I say. You could probably try and do this like naturally, like as you're building up, but I think that that would actually take a lot longer than if you did it this way. Plus, you would have to have some serious insight into what you're doing. We can't really do what we're doing over here, though, because we don't want blocks floating. I don't mind a little bit of this action, though, where we have these kind of windows. Actually, I think these are really, really cool, where there's been like a chunk of the building that has sort of collapsed, right? See, like that? Look how cool that looks, man. Very nice. So you can see the shape of the ruin is starting to take a form, which is beautiful. And what we can do is the same thing on this side. And what we're going to do to try and make all of this pop is get some green in here. And I've been harvesting a whole bunch of birch leaves. And that's going to take this to the next freaking level, baby. I am cooking with gas today, my friends. I'm freaking loving it, man. Well, at least I've achieved one thing with this build. It certainly looks like something has ruined these ruins, and that something would be this pickaxe over here. It's coming together real good, though. I know that it looks a little bit janky right now, guys, and I know it's a little bit scary to be breaking apart builds like this to try and replicate ruins, but I got a little bit of a technique that I wanted to show you that can help to sort of fix this and help make it feel a little bit less chaotic, I suppose. I've got some birch leaves, because we're in a mesa, of course, and one of the only leaves that is sort of green in a mesa is birch, and what we're going to be doing is using some birch leaves to try and rebuild a few of these gaps that we have made in our ruins. This is going to do two things. It's going to help to reframe the building when you look at it from a distance, so it's going to look more like the structure of the building and less like just a whole bunch of different blocks hanging in midair. And number two, it is going to add to the effect that this sort of ruin has been here for centuries, that it has been overgrown, that we've got vines, that we've got plants, we've got moist fungi growing all over the place. And what we want to try and do here is get a little bit of leaf action inside of the gaps. Not too much, though. We want to leave some gaps over here to sort of let the build breathe a little bit, so to speak. Let's get that vine going a little bit down like that. And we're just going to do this all over the ruin like this. And that should, in theory, help to sort of fix the ruin a little bit and make it feel a little bit more like a building and less like just a pile of rubble. That's looking pretty decent so far. We don't have to go absolutely crazy on the leaf action now. Let's just get a few in here. The most important thing, though, is what it looks like from the outside. So let's go over here into the Lush Mesa village and take a look at if our ruin is looking a little bit more structurally sound. Yes, look at that. Isn't that looking good? Love that. So now it's feeling a lot more like a tower. You know, I look at this and I see a tower that once stood really tall and that has sort of broken down into its final little bits over here. And we can sort of help to make that work, or help to make that look even more like that by adding every now and then, I don't know, like a sort of pile of rubble over here or something, right? So this may look like it fell off of the building or something. I don't know. You're picking up what I'm putting down over here, though, right? Man, I have been loving this build today. It has been so much fun. Actually, we can't use this green cobblestone because the green is just so freaking ugly, isn't it? Andesite is always a good block to use when it comes to little bits of ruin, because it does look like, you know, a pile of tiny rubble or something. So there we go. We have a little bit of the wall that has fallen off, right? And what we can do is sort of build up a little bit of leaf action over it. Oh man, I am getting into this something crazy. You know what I think I want to do, guys? I think I want to end today's episode here, and next time we come together, why don't we have like a very detailed Minecraft building episode together where we work on some of the details here for the build, right? For example, making the pathing look really cool, getting some coarse dirt in here to sort of break up the build a bit and break up the gray, and maybe get into some like real technical Minecraft building action. I kind of feel like doing that, and I hope you guys would enjoy that too, man. I've just been loving this so much. I think I'm going to have to put the mouse down, though, before I take it too far and get this thing done before I can bring you guys with me. So you know what, guys? I'm going to say goodbye for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think about our Hermitron entrance ruin structure. I think it's coming along real good. And this week, we're going to be launching Hermitron. I know that's what I said last week, guys, but this is the week, okay? It's going to happen, and it's going to be sweet. Thank you guys for watching. It's been ReNDoG coming at you from the Hermitcraft server, and we'll smell you all in the next episode.